In one of my previous videos, I explained why you need to be a spiritual content creator right now. If you've not already checked that out, then you can check that out here. And in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly how you can be the best spiritual content creator and make money while you're enjoying yourself being all of that in 5 simple, easy steps. So step number 1 to becoming a spiritual content creator is getting clarity on your what. Like, what is your reason behind becoming a spiritual content creator? Find your what. What are you going to be creating content on? And before you say loads of things, that's absolutely fine. I am the master of multifaceted beings and multi-passions, and I definitely spread my interest far and wide and always recommend that you do that as well. But there is a but. First, you have to focus on one area to initially start with to get the ball rolling, right? Like, I initially did start with astrology in 2019 on my Instagram page. Now I don't do astrology, like hardly anything, because my interests have changed. I've just learned so much more. I've gained a lot of wisdom, and my passions are just very much more diverse into like different areas of my life. But I did start on astrology, and I did keep to it for at least a strong year of just creating content around that one topic before I moved. So again, just like a baby, eventually it does start to walk and run and all of this stuff, but initially it doesn't. It just does one thing, right? It just practices getting on its hands and knees, and then it practices taking one step. And it's the same concept for you guys. So again, like the baby just starts with one word, mama or dada. Likewise, you will most definitely end up burning out if you take multiple things to start with. So initially, I always suggest just starting off with one reason, one what of what you're going to be creating content around that you pick now. That will be completely your choice. And then later, if you want to talk about multiple other different things, that you completely can do that. That's absolutely good thing to do and okay. So I just want you to know that you will not be niching down, as they like to say. A lot of social media creators will tell you to niche down and all this stuff. I don't believe in that rubbish. I am literally like, follow your heart, follow your intuition, but also bring in focus, bring alignment, bring discipline, bring devotion, bring all of that stuff alongside as well. So to help you decide your what your main thing is that you're going to start off creating content around, just ask yourself, what can I talk about for ages that I don't get bored with, that I would absolutely still find so passionate, so excited, so enthusiastic about right now? Like, what is that topic? What do I keep talking about? What do I want to just keep talking about constantly with everyone that I meet? That's your thing. Start with that. And also double check that you can cover content on that. Like, you've got that much to talk about that you can cover content on it for at least 2 months worth of content. Step 2 is pick your why. Like, why are you doing this? Why now? And your why has to be something really much, like a lot deeper than just money or followers or likes. Superficial whys will not cut it, because it will only take you so far. You need your why to be really, really deep rooted. Money, followers, subscribers, all of that stuff doesn't count as your good enough why. That's going to keep you there long term and committed. There has to be like a deep rooted mission or service behind why you're creating content. An emotional connection behind your why can help strengthen that, so that you stay on this path, you commit to it long term. It becomes a lifestyle rather than just a short term thing, because social media can take years to build recognition, audience, value, your branding, all of that stuff. And so you have to truly, truly want this and to be devoted to it, possibly for the rest of your life. Like, it can be a lifelong journey. It's just like a career. You choose it for your life, right? That's part of your purpose on earth. So think about it deep as to what your why is. Like, as an example, my why is my son, my 5-year-old son, and my partner, who's my soulmate, who I want to raise my son without restrictions of society and the conditioning of the world. And I want to be the best role model for him. And the only way I can do that I know how best is being in my essence, in my feminine and masculine energies, in balance, and in making money my own way by being a spiritual content creator and providing that value out to the world, as well as my child, so that I do not have to work a 9 to 5 and I can spend all that time with him and my partner, because that's what I love. Like, love, we're here as human experiences, as a human being, to experience love as a human. And if that time is being taken away from me to do a job for somebody else, like, that makes no sense to me or my purpose. So my big why is for that, right? And that keeps me going. So think deeply about your why you're doing this, so that every time when you feel like giving up, just remember your why, and it will keep you going. It will keep you creating content. It will keep you staying focused. It will keep you not looking at superficial goals, and it will keep you on track to continuing to live out your purpose authentically and from your heart space, not from your ego. Step number 3, I just want to say you are doing good. Now that you've got your first 2, if you've stayed this far in the video and you've already started doing this stuff, then congratulations for getting this far in this video, because most people might have already quit by now. As soon as they heard you need the deeper why, or you need to know your what, most people will be like, oh, it's too much work, let's just jump off. So if you're here, well done, congratulations. Seriously, give yourself a pat on the back, because a lot of people, seriously, they trickle off. They don't have the dedication intuition. So seriously applaud yourself, and let's get on to step number 3. Now you've got your what and you've got your why. Now you get into the fun stuff. You get to pick one app, one social media platform that you want to start on. Like I said before, I started in 2019 on Instagram, which I have now left behind, and now my main ones are TikTok, which I grew to over 11,000, and now I'm focusing on YouTube because I did start YouTube, but then I dabbled off it because I felt like it was a lot of work back then. But now I think I've mastered quite a few of the platforms where I'm comfortable being on YouTube and growing it and taking that long-term approach. So again, you want to dedicate about 1 whole year of going into one platform first before you pivot to another platform. That's just my recommendation. Again, go with your intuition. Some might feel like, oh no, I can do it all, but again, you don't want to experience burnout because that's just going to take you off the path much more quicker, and it will just lead to burnout. I promise you, I've tried it. I've done this. So you do not need to be on all the things all at once. Like sometimes what happens is if you have a big growth on one platform, it leads to more growth on another platform. Sometimes that's not the case. Like my TikTok was complete from scratch. Barely any of my following were from my Instagram. It was very much organic on TikTok, and the same from YouTube. They seem to be coming a lot from YouTube itself, not from any other platform right now. But sometimes a lot of YouTube subscribers will go and find you on the smaller platforms because YouTube is just it's a search engine, and just the way people just like to follow tends to naturally happen that way. Again, like I said, just pick one platform. And as a brief overview for all the platforms for you that I have dabbled on, I would focus on TikTok or YouTube personally, just because of my intuitive nudges as to where Instagram is going to end up very, very soon. But again, if you're feeling intuitively now I want to start on Instagram, then go for it. You experiment. You might see amazing success on there and you might love it. So I'll absolutely recommend just going with your intuition on whichever platform you feel like at this moment in time when you're starting. And Facebook, Twitter, Threads is also like other platforms, other avenues that you can dabble into to build up your audience. And the trick with this is I always say just tap into your intuitive voice. Whenever you feel like you need to make a big decision or you need to make a decision of any sort with your spiritual content creation, go within. Ask your intuition. If the answers are not coming straight away, it means it might not be time yet. Just wait to receive that information. It might not come straight away, but once you set the intention of the universe, like it can be as simple as like I literally have a conversation with the universe. I'm like, should I go on YouTube? I don't know. And I'll leave it for a few days, and then suddenly something will come up on my feed or something will come through, or there'll be a nudge of like, oh, I really feel like just going on YouTube right now, and then I'll know, right? So listen to your intuition, and again, try and feel into what's getting you most excited, what's going to light you up the most. Go with that as well. As I said earlier, like I started on Instagram because at that time, back in 2019, that was the most exciting thing for me. It wasn't YouTube, it wasn't TikTok, it wasn't any of those. I wasn't even on TikTok at that time, right? And now I've moved over to YouTube and TikTok. I'm loving it because that's currently my call, my intuitive call. And so I always follow it. And again, like my TikTok, my podcast, the You Are Magic podcast, all of the links are below, guys. So if you feel like you haven't checked that out and you're new to my channel, go and check that out below. So step 4. So now you have your what content you are doing, what you're creating. You have your why you are doing this to keep you going when things can get a bit hard or a bit like slow. And you've got your platform, which you are going to now dedicate yourself or devote yourself to for a year to build your audience on, build your content creation on, build some more skill sets on as you go along. The next thing that you need now is number 4 is your intuitive content plan, which looks different for men and women because I always go with your cycles and your hormones. So again, your physical hormonal cycle clock is very different. So for men with your 24-hour cycle, I would say stay as consistent as you like. Like again, dedicate a set time of your day for your content to go out, to be created, and then decide if you want to like batch all of your content where you're doing it all in one day, because I think that's just more efficient whether you're a man or woman. Like as a female, I do this because of my clock anyway. So as a masculine, again, if you want to batch your content, it's just much more easier. So when you want to go on holiday and things like that, it's all automated, it's all done for you. So you're not constantly every single day thinking, it's like work, it's like a 9 to 5, right? So, and if you're building this while you're working full time, then this can be really, really useful. So again, think deeply about whether you want to batch your content and then automate everything. So again, pick a schedule, like whether you're going to do this on the weekend or whether you're going to pick like one evening every single week to just write your scripts out, and then another day of the week, maybe you're going to just film it and then it's done, and then you set aside another day of the week to just edit your videos if you're doing videos or if there's any design work to do on your content, right? So you get to decide your schedule. Just pick like whether you're doing 1 day a week, 2 days a week, how much time you can allocate to it, and then pick out a schedule that works for you. Again, experiment with the first few weeks and then find what sticks and stick to it for the whole year is my recommendation. Again, listen to your intuitive voice, space, go within, see what your body likes to do. Don't force anything. If it feels fun, then it's much more easier for you to sustain and to continue doing, right? For my women with our 28-day cycle, I always recommend following your cycle. I've built my business initially on a masculine cycle, not listening, and now I've pivoted everything to work with my feminine cycle, which is so much more fun, and also so much more sustainable, because long term, this is like a lifestyle choice I've made where I will just continue to create according to my cycle, and it feels so good in my body. I recommend anyone, if you're a feminine in a feminine body, build your business according to your female cycle. And again, if you need to learn more on your cycle and you need to understand what I mean by this, then check out my period cycle video up here to understand that much deeper. For this video, basically the 4 seasons I explained that we all go through with our ovulation, our menstruation, I split it into 2 seasons, or the 4 seasons split into 2 parts. The first half of your month being the masculine and the second half being your feminine. So just before you bleed, you enter your feminine, and when you finish your period, you enter the masculine. Right? So the masculine season, being the spring and summer, is where you do most of your creation. So you do your creating content, you write your scripts, you film, all of that good stuff, which is the masculine, where you're taking action intuitively, and you've got the energy for that. So you can set all of your automations and things like that that need to be set, like all the systemizing, right? And the creation. Then when you enter your feminine phase, usually from like day 15, 16 onwards, up until you bleed, is when you get to relax. You want to, like, any content that you've created, you kind of like just reflect on, maybe do some journaling. You can plan out things, because that's literally, again, journaling intuitively what you feel like you want to change and move. And also just like light editing work can be done around this time as well sometimes, because you're just resting your body and just editing in peace, reading more material. All of that stuff should be done in your feminine phase of receiving. And it's how I currently do my YouTube channel. So I will literally script and do all of my filming when I'm high energy in this masculine phase, where I'm like feeling really good. I've got so much bursts of energy. I can do so much in like the space of like 1 week. And then I relax when I enter my feminine cycle in like 2 weeks time. And I will just edit, do some more chilled stuff. And I'll just not think about filming or scripting or any of that stuff until after my bleeding is finished. So again, play around with your cycle, plan according to your cycle, see what works better for you as a female. And then just men and women, set a firm promise to yourself and a decision to regularly post set amount per week or per month. And as a rough idea for each platform of how much you should be posting, Instagram 2 to 3 times a week. Again, keep an eye out, like learn yourself each platform that you are on. There'll be regular updates, so just see what works for you, what feels right intuitively. Again, intuition beats the algorithm every single time. So I'll always say, yeah, there are algorithm hacks that people will show you all over social media, but don't allow that to consume your mind. Be spiritual in the sense that you create your reality. Regardless of the algorithm, you can outbeat the algorithm by following your intuition. Always remember that at the back of your head, whichever platform you're on. And the law of divine timing is also at play. So when it is your time will come. Do not chase that. Just focus on your vision, focus on your why, focus on your deeper mission, and stay focused on that. Every time you feel like your mind's wavering to the algorithm and all of this stuff and it's not working and blah blah blah, it's like dedicate it to a year, stay committed, keep going. You will see momentum eventually. So Instagram 2 to 3 times a week, TikTok 2 to 3 times a day, because TikTok's much more like faster paced. I think when I started growing mine, until I reached 1,000 at least, I was like 2 or 3 times a day I used to post. Now I've knocked it down to once a day or once every 2 days, because it's just a slow growth now. I don't need to grow it huge momentumly because I'm moving on to YouTube as my main platform. So again, it's okay to pivot according to when you feel like you're moving platforms and when you're in between, so that you don't burn yourself out, and you can still maintain the other platforms by minimizing how much you post. And then once you start hiring or delegating to other team people, then they can also, once you build your team, they can grow it at a much more larger scale if that's what you want. But if you're a one-person business like myself and you just want to keep to yourself, then you can manage it quite easily by having a consistent schedule that works for you intuitively and with your cycles. So YouTube 1 to 2 a week. So again, mine are once a week videos, but I'm going to up that to 2 a week soon, as soon as I've built this momentum a bit more. Podcasting once a week or once a month works. Like I started off again once a week, and then I thought that was a bit too much, so I dropped it down to once a month, and that works really, really well for me right now. So again, those are just my recommendations to avoid burnout and to also allow you to hit your goals and maintain consistency as you do this. But once you have a rough idea of like how many posts or how many videos you're comfortable doing and that you're enjoying doing, then get creating that content by scripting or writing out initially. Writing and scripting can really help you, or even just having like plain bullet points in front of you and then looking at it and then filming. Or if you're typing up stuff, then obviously just writing and getting into that state to clear your mind and just channel and write and help make things a lot easier instead of just winging it. But again, if it's intuitive and it just does flow through you, then just press play, see what comes through, and then just edit out the gaps in between again. And then you can repurpose like reels for your TikTok, Instagram, YouTube shorts videos and things like that. So again, experimentation is key. And step number 5 is to just get posting. So once you've got the first 4 steps, now you're ready to literally just get your stuff created in the right frame and the right schedule time that you've dedicated to yourself, and just start to post. Don't overthink it, because procrastination and overthinking is a thing that will literally keep you stalling and stuck, and you will not get your videos out there at all. Just post. So this is literally the way that you get better. You learn more skills along the way, like editing, Canva, all of that stuff I learned because I went on Instagram 4 years ago. Otherwise I would have never learned what the hell is Canva and how to work on it. But if you don't post anything, you won't even get there, and you'll just stay in your head. So once you post again consistently for the first month or 2, you should get some data from your analytics that will then tell you what your audience is liking. And again, sometimes people may comment and let you know like, oh, can you do a video on this, or can you help me with this, or they liked the videos that you're doing, and then just rinse and repeat those types of content, because then you know your audience is liking it, so that you get a bit more momentum and growth, as long as you're obviously enjoying those topics. But if you notice that people are giving you feedback, then connect with them, create those connections, network with those people, because those are your soul tribe. That's your audience, right? That's your community that you're building. And so you want to offer them what they're asking for, because you are there to serve them, right? And that's the whole reason for you becoming a spiritual content creator, is to serve your community and to help them. So posting and experimenting is literally the path to success. Do not be afraid of experimenting. Experimenting is literally trying something once, then testing it a different way, and then trying it another way, and then adding stuff that works, and then taking away what doesn't work. So again, as a spiritual content creator, of course, you're always being led by your own spirit. So always trust your intuition and the spirit of your audience as well. It's a two-way thing, right? You follow your intuition, and then you also listen to your audience's intuitive voices as well. And you will see success, and you will be thriving and loving living in your purpose. So there you have it, my 5-step process to becoming a spiritual content creator. And obviously through doing this, you will automatically make money, which I will be talking about in another video. And if you want to know how you can make money as a spiritual content creator, then drop me a comment below, but I will definitely be making another video on that. And of course, there are more skills to learn along the way, like how to create a course, how to create a digital course, how to set it up, all the different platforms that you can do that on, which I will definitely promise I will do something for you in that if I get a request for it. Designing better posts on Canva, how to editing cool video or reel cuts on TikTok and Instagram. Again, if you fancy those, let me know in the comments. For now, just keep going, stay committed, enjoy the journey, and find deeper meaning and purpose behind each piece of content that you put out there. Because as you write from your soul and your heart, as you embark on this amazing journey, the rewards for being a spiritual content creator will come to you in so many different forms. You will literally just be thriving, I promise you. Lots of love, and I'll catch you in the next video.